Well, welcome, friends. Hello. This is Angela R. Sasser, and this is my monthly hangout. I used to do these a lot back in the day, the early days of Patreon, and y'all told me you missed them. So here I am to ramble and talk about what new art I've been working on in January, and also any inspirations and questions you might have. So just drop them in the chat, put the word question, and ask me anything within reason. Now, this hangout is an hour late because a deer decided to unalive itself in our pool. So welcome to Georgia. I had to deal with that this morning. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's been a day. It's been a day. It's been a month. It's been the longest year of a month, and so yeah, here to talk about some art. Let's at least talk about some fun stuff and take a breath and take it easy. Oh, we got deer all over Georgia. We literally saw like 7 deer in the backyard, just chilling. I think it's a family back there, and it's this mom with like 2 stupid kids, because one of them's already got stuck in our fence once when it was a baby and as an adult, and you just have to. They were here first, so you just have to live with them. But yeah, so deer. I'm gonna dive right in with some art. Get to the fun things, because longest year already, I'm telling you. And hey, Shan, cool to see ya. Let's see. Art. Switching cameras to the art cam. Let's see if I set it up right. Art cam. So the biggest news from this month is I have been streaming a lot. I'm quite proud of myself. I've actually managed to stay on schedule. So this week I've already had several streams. I've been doing gesture sketches for Tuesdays, doing gesture sketches and other art exercises. And then on Thursdays, I've been doing games that I find inspiring. And then this is the first of the final Thursday Hangouts and AMAs. So if you have questions, again, throw them up in the chat. And at the end of this whole rambling, I will answer any questions. So, art cam. It is indeed a best cam. Hopefully you guys can see it up on the screen. Let me know if you're just looking at a black screen while I am actually seeing what you're supposed to see. So, first on the agenda, the new art. So one of the coolest things that I got to make was art for the Secret Santa. This is my art for the beginning of the year. My new art for the beginning of the year. We had a Secret Santa exchange for the holidays. And this was the character I got. The boy with the 7-word name. And he's the adopted son of the first and forsaken lion. A big bad in the setting of this tabletop RPG. So that was my first art of 2025. I was so excited. I went with a Hades style with him because I feel like that he has that vibe, you know. He's the undead boy king. He's the greatest swordsman to live, die, and live again. So I really loved that description that I got for this character. And this was the original reference that I had for it by the artist who owns that character. Comedy Gold, a Tragedy on Tumblr. So, rad character. I was so excited to get that for the Exalted Secret Santa. And here's some sketches for this one. And then a detail shot. Turn off my taskbar for a second. There. Better. So, detail shot so you can see that rad lion pauldron he has. And And I also did a tutorial for him just because I had some observations about the Hades style. So this is up on social media, and I'll find a way to link it in the description of the recording of this stream. So I'll put a link to where you can look closer at this tutorial if you too want to do the Hades style, because it's super fun and it really agreed with me. Shan in the chat asks, have I considered doing more art for other systems since they've mostly seen Exalted from me? And why, yes, I have. I have done D&D mainly, but a little bit of Vampire the Masquerade and a little bit of Shadowrun. Shadowrun was like my main one back in the day, but I haven't done newer art, but that doesn't mean I won't. So I definitely got to figure that out for the future. So yeah, I've done a bit of everything, and I'm definitely hoping to do more. Like, this year is going to be my year, right? This is the year I wanted to start targeting more tabletop companies, so I definitely want to go for Onyx Path Publishing, for White Wolf Games, and for Wizards of the Coast for D&D stuff. So I'm going to do all of it if I can. I've been drawing pretty elegant Art Nouveau ladies for so long that here's hoping I can really return to where my heart is with fantasy art. So that was that. Next, again, for the Exalted Secret Santa event that we did, I was inspired by the beautiful model sheets of Castlevania to draw my own character reference sheets. I wanted to show this off first because I freaking love the model sheets for the Castlevania animated series, and I just have to show off how beautiful they are. I love how expressive and elegant they are. Here's some of the facial ones, the facial expression sheets. Like, if you can get the art book, go and look at it because it is gorgeous and I can't recommend it enough. So with that in mind, this is the stuff that inspired my own reference sheets, which I had to turn out in a really short time. So I'm probably going to come back and fix these up a little where I cut corners or I wasn't quite happy with things, but this was my reference sheets that I made for my own characters for the Exalted Secret Santa event, because I had to be extra and create new things for the event. My girl needed an update. It's been some time for her. So this is Clara Vadras, my Eclipse cast from the Exalted Tabletop RPG setting, and her totally not boyfriend, the Mask of Golden Eyes, who's a Moonshadow cast. They knew each other in their mortal lives. And here's the full body turnaround for Clara. I had so much fun designing her phoenix coat. So I just loved doing this. Great reference, and it's always helpful to have this kind of thing for when you're doing art trades and whatnot, so people know what your character likes, and you don't have to answer over many questions about them. So yeah, turnarounds. I did a quick little sheet showing off the details. Those were just so fun. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, so it's also going to be a really good reference for me because I would like to do a comic with this character. I've gone fully insane, just crazy in the brain, but I want to do a comic with this character, and this is one step towards that goal. I mean, okay, someone said shame for dating abyssals, but I mean, look at this guy. Look at the gold. So yeah, this is the sheet for Mask of Golden Lies. And he has a very Mask of the Red Death theme going on. He likes to show up at parties of rich, corrupt rulers and just totally wreck their stuff. So, yeah, I definitely want to draw more of him. I didn't get to do much more, like to show what kind of martial arts he does. Like these sheets, I could keep going with, oh, what is their anima like? What are their abilities like? There's so much more I could do with these characters. And there's a comment in the chat that I could just take off the setting specific stuff, but the setting specific stuff is what I like about the world. So I probably will just do a comic for the Storyteller's Vault. But I do have my own original stories as well, so I'm not worried. I'm not starved for other ideas. I just enjoy drawing Exalted because it's my fun, happy place. So we all need those fun, happy places right now. And we need to draw more Golden Bone Boys is what we need to do. So definitely going to update these sheets later. And so that was the main art that I have to show off. The rest is like that boring stuff no one likes to do. And that is studies. So I made a concerted effort during streams this month to do gesture drawing. So if you've tuned in on Tuesdays this month, you saw me draw these live. There are recordings up to where you can draw them. And then you can also grab your sketchbook and do gesture sketches with me. I have the pose up on the screen. So you guys come some Tuesdays and hang out with me. We'll draw gesture sketches and just learn and absorb. So this has been good because I'm very bad about practicing. This is the kind of boring stuff you need to do to get better. So it's been good to like force myself to focus by actually drawing live in front of all of you. And then this was a chart I did on stream. It's basically a chart you do to learn what your transparency is like for your pigments. Because I am actually teaching myself how to use acrylic paints. For those who don't know me already, I'm primarily a watercolor artist and a digital artist. And pen and ink, those are my chosen ones, along with colored pencil. I actually mix all those together as I feel like. But watercolors aren't that archival, so I've been wanting to teach myself to replace them with acrylic paints. But I don't really know much about acrylic paint, so I've been trying to get all these materials together. I'm reading this book, the Acrylics book, and I'll link that down in the description of this recording once that ends up on my YouTube channel. But basically, it's a whole nother ball game of how to use acrylics, and they're so malleable. You can use them for opaque painting, you can treat them like oils, or watercolors, like work with them really thinly. So that's been exciting to learn something new. So yeah, that's the boring art that I've done this month. Boring, but necessary and actually kind of fun. And let's see, I've gone all out of order from the outline I made for myself. Oh yes, I've been applying to conventions this month too. It's New Year, and I've actually been out of conventions for like 5 years. After COVID, me and my husband decided for his health, since he's very, he has some medical conditions that do make him more susceptible to COVID, that I would just stop selling at cons. But we're feeling more confident now, a few years later, that I can get back to cons without him being too worried. But the problem is now cons are totally different. There's a lot of competition right now, and a lot of higher table fees. So it's been eye-opening trying to get back into cons. I've applied to like 5 of them, so fingers crossed for me. Maybe you'll see my face again. But that's kind of why I'm streaming now too, right? Because if it's going to be so hard for me to see you guys at conventions, then hey, at least you can catch me here online. I'm going to try and keep up this streaming habit on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I hope you like my face. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it. Let's see. I've started to review some other art. Da-da. This one. So this is what I've been working on previously, for those who might have missed out. Now this is a very rough thumbnail sketch for my own version of a book cover for Cassiel's Servant by Jacqueline Carey. And for those who don't know of this setting, it's one of my absolute favorite fantasy book settings ever. And I love it. It's been around for a while. And Cassiel's Servant's the latest entry that came out last year, I think. And for those who don't know it, it's this amazing dark fantasy setting that's also wrapped up with romance and fallen angels and all this cool stuff. It's really hard to pitch. This particular one is about a warrior monk who ends up learning about this kind of like divine purpose he has in his life to protect Phaedra, who is the main character of Kushiel's Dart. So it's kind of like the first ever book in this series was her perspective, and this book is his perspective as the warrior monk. And I really enjoyed it. The imagery is right up my alley with like masquerades and fallen angels and just enough romance. Even though new reviewers are calling it romantasy, it kind of came out before that label. And I'd say that as someone who does not really like romance novels, this is much more like it's less gratuitous than I'd say romance novels are, but still involves the romance. So very plot heavy romance, I should say. Anyways, it's awesome. This is my take on it, and this is why I'm learning acrylic paints right now, because I'm trying to do this cover in acrylics, and I picked the worst time. I've had to completely stop myself from moving forward on this painting because it is not a good idea to come and teach yourself how to do something you have no idea about with a new medium. So unfortunately, I've had to pause work on this one because I'm not going to do it in digital anymore. I'm going to do it in acrylics. Like, I am going to learn me some acrylics, which means that this is slowing down a little. So hopefully you liked it. If you want to see more of the thumbnails, they're hidden in my secret sketchbook on Patreon. So you can see like the whole full page of book cover explorations and all that stuff over there. And I also did like a whole sheet of research on the medieval French armor that inspired the main character in this cover. So if you like all the research notes with reference pictures, I've definitely been keeping track of all that with enough free teases as well that you can see on the free post on my Patreon, but also there are paid posts for like $2 is the entry level on that. But enough of the money. We're talking art. So lots of things. Yes. Speaking of art, I actually will be opening private commissions. Hopefully next month. And this is a big deal because, like, for years now, I haven't taken private commissions because I'd rather focus on my own projects. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. And private commissions will probably be something like this, for those who may be interested in them. So I want to draw your characters and make them look awesome. This is my D&D barbarian. This is my friend's tiefling. And then here's some more exalted stuff. So basically stuff like this. I'm going to be opening up private comms for more character work. This is one of my favorite pieces from last year. Another exalted piece. But this is the style that I'd really like to do more of. This like tarot inspired style. So yeah. If you have been wanting something like this. Start pinching your pennies, because I will be releasing that again to Patreon patrons first, and then to my newsletter. So those folks get first dibs, and then we'll see what's left after that. And I think that is basically all the updates I had. I really just wish I had more art, but that's how it is sometimes. Longest year already. So, questions. AMA portion of it. I had a couple of questions picked out. And it's basically... So the first one is, how do you stay inspired when things are rough? And boy, that's a relevant question for us right now. And oh boy, I gotta say, from personal experience, it's really tough. You know, like when the world feels like a lot of chaos, nothing will art block you more than that. Just like worrying about everything at once. And then here you are, artist, going, hey, who wants to buy a pretty picture? The world's on fire, but I've got a pretty picture of my beefy barbarian here. You know, you feel so dumb, and like, this stuff don't matter when there's so many people hurting in the world and you're powerless. So like, that's what art blocks me when things are rough. And what I would suggest is like, take a break. Like, take a social media break. Try not to look at bad news every day for a little while, so you can like breathe and take care of your own mental health, because you're no good in any kind of fight if you are tired. So like, be kind to yourself, do things that are relaxing, take a break, and then when you're ready to hop back up, there are plenty of things you can do with your art. Like, I wanted to show you guys some ideas. Like, one of the things I did was portraits for charity. And this helped me feel so much better that I had the power to do something with my art. Echo says, I'm motivated by spite. And yeah, I'm with that. Let the spite drive you to make art no matter what. But I made these portraits for anyone who wanted them, and then we all donated the money to charity, and that felt good, to do something with my art and feel like I was helping other people. So like, do recommend coming up with ideas of how you can use your art for charity. They're selling charity prints, there's doing charity fundraisers. I've seen people auction off originals and then donate that fundraising to charity. So like, there's lots you can do with your art. Don't let the chaos overwhelm you. Stay strong. And I'm going to try to do the same. Then the other question I wanted to talk about, well, while also trying to avoid some controversy, I'm going to try to stay focused on this one. The question is, I want to use AI because it will take me too long to learn how to draw, write, etc. How can I learn more quickly? And this one's rough. Okay, like, I understand the siren call of AI, because stuff's hard. Art is hard. But at the same time, it's just not... It's... How to say this? When you skip the step of learning how to do art yourself, you start to lose appreciation for other artists, you know. Well, one, it also will make other artists mad, because the systems as they are aren't ethical, and they basically tell other artists that you don't care about the value of their work. Number one, because these artists weren't paid to get trained on. My work is in those training databases too, without my consent. So like, when you use AI generated tools, you are sending that message, whether you mean to or not, that you don't value the work of artists. And like, I know art is hard, but I promise you, it's so satisfying. Like, it actually is fun to do all those gesture sketches and, like, kind of meditate and absorb. The journey is what's satisfying. So, like, I know people just want that end result, but don't do it. You'll lose respect. And even when these systems become ethical, people will still lose their jobs. And you have to recognize that pain and how the creative industry at large is either rejecting it or higher ups are letting it be used in their process through in-home AI. And it's just making their art staff feel like dookie, like they're not valued. So think of the human element. If you don't want to put in the hard work to study, hire an artist. Like, save your pennies, pinch your pennies, and hire an artist, hire a writer. Like, just hire people. We really need the work. Like, especially people coming up who don't have a lot of experience. They need those bread and butter jobs of your character portraits and your Kickstarters and whatnot. Just pay another artist. You'll feel better. At least I should hope you will feel better. So that's my big rant about that. Support each other. That's what's got to happen. And if you need study resources, okay, part 2 of this is it feels like it's hard to study and it'll take too many years for you to get good and put out professional results. That is fair, but at the same time, again, the journey is the point. And also, there are so many study resources. If you put in like 30 minutes to an hour a day, you're gonna get better. And there's so many free resources like Draw a Box and Proko on YouTube. Like, there's no excuse to not learn. There's plenty out there. And there are art groups you can join and get critique. Line of Action is the tool I've been using also for my art streams. And you can learn. The ceiling, or rather the floor there, is very easy to come in and learn. So don't be afraid. You're going to improve faster than you think you will. And there's so many people who want to help you. Like, YouTube is a plethora of free art lessons that people have made for you. So learn, open thy mind. Don't be afraid of the time it's going to take. Like, just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. So let me just look at chat here. If y'all have any questions for me, this is the time. This is the time. I'll hopefully have more questions for next time as people learn that these hangouts are happening. So, coming in February. We've got, again, hopefully, if I can be fast, there will be new private commission samples. I'm actually planning to do a commission that is like, you guys give me a character and a color palette and then just let me choose, like an artist choice style, and that's going to be like more affordable. I'm hoping to set up something like that too, because I've seen some really fun art where it's like more spontaneous because the artist gets more of the creative choice. So that is one thing I want to try. I'm going to do more acrylic studies. And I'm going to keep this streaming habit up. It's been a lot of fun. And oh yeah, I'll be doing the rest of Telltale's The Expanse for my game night streams. So yeah, catch me on Thursdays for that. Thursdays are usually the game night, but again, the final Thursday is going to be this monthly hangout in AMA. So look to my blog after this for like a transcript of this video, and the recording's going to be up on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to put the resources of any books and links I've suggested including some study sources for those of you who want to do more art studies. That's going to be all in a little link area. So, yeah, I think that's it. I do not see any further questions. So, hey, thanks for joining me and listening to the rambles. It's been really good to connect with folks again after being so long out of the loop. Like, I haven't done conventions and streaming in so long now, other than random weird games. So it's nice to be back. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys for the next stream on Tuesday of next week, where we'll be doing animal gesture sketching. So come practice and laugh at how much I can't draw animals. So come fail with me. It'll be fun. I'll see you guys then. Take care. Stay inspired. Mwah.